Hey guys, I'm Nick, otherwise known as NCI Resale, and today I'm going to do a video that I have had requested to me a lot. Like a lot. I'm going to apologize in advance if I sniffle because my nose is having a conniption with all of the pollen in the air. My seasonal allergies said, hello, there I am back. So, see, that is why I'm sniffling. I promise I'm not dying of anything. My body hates pollen. So, without further ado, let us get into 10 brands that you should pick up if you see them anywhere for a decent price, because these are 10 very popular menswear brands right now, some of which I love wearing, some of which I wish I could be wearing. I mean, I kind of look like Farmer Brown today, but I'm very into fashion, and so, especially men's fashion, it's something that I know a lot about that maybe some other people don't. So I want to share that information with you guys. So, getting into it, the first designer I have on my list, which you know me and lists, is a designer named Thom Browne, or as some people would like to say, Thom Brownie, because it's spelled Thombrowne. Now, Thom Browne is a American designer based in New York City, and he is known for his tailoring. And when I say he has exquisite tailoring, I mean insane. He does a lot of avant-garde pieces for his runway shows, which are really cool, and I highly recommend checking them out on YouTube or other places. His everyday, like, pret-a-porter, ready-to-wear pieces are so amazing. He's known for his signature stripes. He has this like 3-stripe logo that's super cool. It's a lot of men's celebrities wear it. If you know Anthony Porowski from Queer Eye, he wears Thom Browne all the time, but it is just very, very popular right now. And I will, as I go through this video, pop up pictures and labels. A side note for Thom Browne is that it is a very faked brand. You have to be very careful because there are very good fakes out there. It is a brand that is worth getting authenticated because the pieces that are real can sell for a lot of money. I actually have a Thom Browne sweater that I found at a Goodwill. I did pay a lot for it, like $35, because it was at like a Goodwill boutique, but it is my size and she's mine. She's all mine. Getting into the second designer, it is a designer, the design label is called Fear of God. And Fear of God is a very streetwear, a very kind of oversized, hypebeast brand. The brand was founded by a man named Jerry Lorenzo, and you might think, like, where does that name sound familiar? He was a professional basketball player before he became a fashion designer, and he became a fashion designer after designing several outfits for Justin Bieber on his Believe tour. If any of y'all are my age or just a little older, like, that was like prime era Justin Bieber music. But he designed 5 stage outfits for Justin Bieber and kind of became more noticed, and his label was officially created in 2013. It is huge in popularity amongst like hypebeast crowd. It's very like oversized and minimalist, lots of like sweatshirt. It's like modern sportswear kind of. I'll pop again pictures in the label. It does not look like it should cost as much as it does, and it is very, very expensive. I have found it twice, once at a Plato's Closet, marked for $8, and once at a Goodwill in a very, very affluent area. But definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. My third brand on my list is a really cool brand that I just learned about not that long ago. I think it's super cool. It is called Amiri. And Amiri is an LA-based brand specializing in denim and leather. It was founded by Mike Amiri, who is a American Iranian fashion designer in LA. And the brand is designed to kind of mix the Western classic American style with like that of rock and roll. So a lot of their pieces are very heavily distressed, very punk kind of rock inspired. They do a lot of very distressed denim, a lot of really cool denim and leather jackets, stuff along the lines of that. It retails in the upper hundreds to $1,000 range. Very expensive, very popular amongst celebrities for stage wear. I really think their items are cool. I have never personally found it, but I have seen it like when I went to the Real Reals store in New York City. In Soho, I felt some pieces and I actually tried a pair of Amiri jeans on. But yeah, super cool designer, one for sure to be on the lookout for. My next brand is another brand that is very popular amongst hype beasts, but has been around for quite a long time, and that is called Stone Island. Now, Stone Island specialized originally in making like reflective workwear, and their whole design kind of aesthetic revolves around that look. It was founded by a man named Massimo Azzi in Italy in the 80s and has really become popular in the last 5 to 10 years. Right now it is super big in the hypebeast streetwear scene. I keep referring to this term hypebeast. If you don't know what that means, it is this kind of group of like a fashion subset of people who are really into like the streetwear fashion scene, and they're really into, you can look up hype beast brands. A lot of them are like, I'll name off a couple like super fast, and I could do a separate video totally on this. If that interests you guys, let me know. But some of the hype beast brands include Stone Island and Supreme and Comme des Garçons and Off-White, which I'll talk about in a minute, and brands along that lines. Bape. Yeah, I might make a whole different video on that for you guys to know. Anyway, very popular. Resale is insane. Sell-through rate, insane. One to look out for. It has this very specific logo that's easy to spot because it's usually on the sleeves or the outseam of pants. And yes, very good one to know. The next brand, as I previously mentioned, is called Off-White. Off-White was founded by a designer named Virgil Abloh, who is so cool. I highly recommend you look him up. His story from, like, he's a true kind of nothing to everything story. Like, he started out with nothing, self-taught fashion designer, super cool. But he is known for his super cool out-of-the-box designs. I actually own a few pieces of Off-White. I will show you one of the styles that he is most famous for. So this is my classic Off-White piece. It is called the Industrial Belt. And it is a belt that is made to look like a tie-down strap that has the logo across it, and it is 6 feet long. Actually, it might be longer, but you put it into the closure like this. It's made to like wrap around. I will insert some pictures of me wearing this and some looks for you guys, but this is one of my favorite pieces of his, which is why I own it. I also own a pair of shoes and a flannel. He has a very distinct logo that he likes to put all over his stuff, and his women's wear stuff. I know this isn't a women's wear video, but his women's wear is insane too. He's a very talented designer. As of a few years ago, he became the menswear creative director for Louis Vuitton, which I think just testifies to the influence that streetwear fashion is having on the mainstream fashion industry right now. And I will get into that in that Hypebeast video probably as well. But super cool designer. Definitely, if you see Off-White or the big Off-White logo, pick it up for sure. The next designer is Raf Simons, or as most people would pronounce it, Raf Simons. He is a Belgian-French fashion designer who has creative directed for some of the biggest names in fashion. Jill Sander, Christian Dior, most recently Calvin Klein 205 West 29th Street at NYC, the Calvin Klein Collection fancy brand. And then currently he is co-creative director for Prada. And he is known for coming in and revamping designers, like literally saving designers from the dead. His designs are so cool. His design aesthetic is super unique, and that can be shown through his own label, Raf Simons. His pieces are often very heavily distressed. A lot of them are oversized. Super cool. I will pop up some of his designs as well as some of his designs for Calvin Klein, 205 West 29th Street. You'll be able to see kind of his very clear vision as a designer, but his stuff is insane. So cool. I love all of it. I want to own all of it in the future. It's very similar to my personal, like what I wear aesthetic. But yes, super cool brand. Be on the lookout for that. The next brand is a Parisian fashion house named Kenzo. Now, Kenzo was founded in the 70s by a man named Kenzo Takada, and he moved from Tokyo to Paris and launched his label, which has remained aesthetically very similar throughout the years. It is kind of, he wanted to bring together Asian elements of design and combine it with European tailoring and design techniques, or like fashion creation techniques. And what came out of it was a super unique style, lots of it detailed with very cool Asian inspired prints. Their logo is a big tiger that says Kenzo through it, and that can be found adorned on a lot of their pieces, vintage and modern. They both, vintage and modern Kenzo, both does really, really well. It is a very sought after brand by a lot of people. There are people who wear almost exclusively Kenzo. Super cool brand. Definitely check it out. The next brand that I'm going to talk about is called Miyake. And Miyake is a Japanese fashion designer who does men's and women's, but his men's clothing is particularly relevant today. He designs clothing that is very technologically advanced. It is super cool. He's known for pushing boundaries of fashion that have never been pushed before. I saw an Miyake display when I was in Washington, D.C. last summer at the National Modern Art Gallery. It was kind of about his life and how he has pushed fashion boundaries throughout time. I apologize for my computer dinging. His pieces are so cool. Like, off the charts. One of the styles that he's really popular for right now is called, or like the style is called homme plissé, or it's like a line. And plissé means pleated in French. And they are these like pleat knit fabrics that are almost like that scrunchy knit that's so cool. It's very Asian inspired, and the pants can be seen on all sorts of menswear influencers and fashion people, and the pants, shirts, insane. I want a pair so bad. But yes, super cool. Definitely look into it. And his vintage pieces and his modern pieces do incredible. The next designer is an Italian designer called Briony. And Briony is a very classic tailoring brand. It is worn by many people of power, many presidents. The man in the White House right now, his favorite designer to wear is Briony. Most of his suits are Briony. Whether he's your favorite or not, he likes expensive clothes, as one could probably figure out. Briony is famous for using very luxury materials. Their suits run in the $5,000 to $10,000 range for a full 3-piece suit. Their pieces are impeccably tailored. Many of them are custom made or can be customized for the people who are wearing them. They use very luxe wool and silk and materials along the lines of that. And their boutiques can be found in some of the most expensive places to shop all over the world. The last brand I'm going to talk about in my 10 men's BOLO brands is a brand called DSquared. And DSquared was founded by a pair of twin brothers named Dan and Dean, hence the DSquared. They are originally from Canada, and they moved to New York City to go to Parsons there in the 90s, and that is after that, when they graduated, is when they founded their fashion design label. Their first collection is really what kind of brought attention to their line. It was called Homesick from Canada, and their design aesthetic is definitely unique. It's super cool, and people love it. They mix the very hard and punk with the very sensual. So they'll do pieces that are like leather and then literally just like sheer lace. They kind of push the definition of gendered fashion. They are one of kind of the pioneers of the androgynous fashion scene. They'll do a lot of very tailored men's pieces, but make them 100% sheer. Or they will do things that you say, this is weird, but it looks so good. And I think that's what the beauty of fashion is that you can find a way to express yourself that nobody's ever done before. And it can be cool and it can be relevant. And that's what they've done with this label. Super in demand. If you see it and it looks weird, still pick it up. Their designs are insane. Love them. Retail for a lot. Not really my personal aesthetic, but definitely there is a very specific kind of guy who wears DSquared, and they always look so good. That is 10 out of 10. If you guys like this video and want more BOLO videos, let me know. Hit the like. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. I am posting this kind of content frequently. I hope you guys found this helpful, and thank you for visiting me again. Bye.